Bonjour, mes amis. Je suis Nadaji Canadien, and welcome back to another episode of the Hockey Talk Show. Yeah, I know, kind of late again, but that's just what family does here. So, back with the show that talks about hockey news, and I try to give my best opinion on it because I fucking can. Um, so this week was kind of a filler, actually, actually big week in news. So let's start. Um, with a couple of trades. We'll start there. We'll make it small first, and we'll work our way. So there were two trades that did happen, both of them involving the Montreal Canadiens. The first one happening involving Habs sending forward Brandon Baddock to the Minnesota Wild in exchange for goaltender Andrew Hammond. The Hamburglar is coming to Montreal, and the Hamburglar, I guess you can say, has been Frenchified. I don't. I'm gonna keep these on, but yeah, Andrew Hammond for Brandon Baddock, 1-for-1. Baddock is a AHLer who was last playing with the Laval Rocket, who was the Canadiens farm team, and Hammond was up on the NHL roster, just there, I guess. I don't know. Because I think Cam Thompson was hurt. And the second trade, again involving the Montreal Canadiens. And not gonna lie, bigger bait. No, not a bigger bait, but bigger trade. But this one's an all-Canadian trade, again, between Habs and Flames this time. But the Habs receiving the following. Forward Tyler Pitlick. The prospect Emil Heineman. A top 10 protected first-round pick this season. A 2024 fourth-round pick. I did not see the conditions for that one. And a 2023 and a 2024, actually 2023 fifth-round pick. In exchange, the Calgary Flames acquire Tyler Toffoli. What? Wait a minute. Why Toffoli? It's like, I understand that you guys are doing dog shit, but like, you guys kind of got screwed here. I mean, yeah, I understand. It was a top 10 protected pick. But here's the thing, though. Calgary isn't planning on losing this season. If they're making trades like that, they're planning on going all in. So congratulations, Montreal. You got yourselves a fucking free first-round pick this season to use on a prospect who hopefully isn't by the name of Logan Mailloux. Jesus fucking Christ on a fucking mighty. I swear to God. On a suspension now as we turn to the Ottawa Senators. The Senators forward Austin Watson has been suspended for 2 games, and this is due to a interference penalty he received against Bruins forward, and against Bruins defensive runner Jack Eichel. During the game, those two teams played. I don't know what day this was. If you can see here, well, actually, as the video shows, you can definitely look it up online. Puck Report has it posted. Very intentional, late. Guy didn't have the puck. In other news, Mark Stone has been put on long-term injury reserve until at least the playoffs. And this is to coincide with something else. The return of a savior. The return of what was Buffalo's loved son, but is now Vegas' own, Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel has been cleared for competition. He will make his debut tonight against the Colorado Avalanche. I don't know if that game's ongoing. I don't know. Probably is at the time of this recording, but I don't know. Could be just me. The reason Stone was put on LTIR was because he's had back issues all season, and I guess this is just some time for him to rest before the playoffs. Because I know Vegas is going to make the playoffs. It's just what seeding they're going to be on it. Yeah. And a contract extension now as we turn to Nashville. Mark Borowiecki has signed a 1-year, $900,000 extension with the Predators to remain with the organization. I haven't seen much of him. I don't know if he's made much noise, but for what it is. I mean, Nashville could use defensemen, so that's actually pretty good for them. Let's see. I want to talk about basically the wrap up the episode because there's really not much else. I thought there was, but I guess there's not. Actually, no, there's two things. Let me start with this one. We'll start with the Big Sharks, who apparently have decided that going after non NHL execs for roles in their front office is a good idea. This time, they're turning their attention towards my NBA Toronto Raptors, as they interviewed the Raptors VP of Basketball Ops, Teresa Rush, for their GM job. She will be the 7th candidate to be interviewed by the team and first woman during the club's search. And she's the 2nd candidate outside of hockey and has most recently won a championship with the Raptors back in 2019, to which that one I was very thrilled with. But again, like the fact that the Blackhawks are just fucking going after, like, look at the fact that they're going after non-hockey execs for their GM job. It's weird. It really is weird. First they did it with the Chicago Cubs for baseball. Now they're doing it for the Raptors. What's next? You're gonna go after Dan fucking Snyder for fucking football? Actually, you know what? Take him. Yeah, the NFL doesn't need him. Take him gladly. Take him gladly. And the final thing, let's go over the latest TSN trade bait. But for this one, how this part's gonna work is we're gonna look at the players that are on the bait and who could be moved at the deadline. Basically, names that you could see moved at the trade deadline. As a reminder, trade deadline is March the 20th this year. So we're gonna go over some of the names. Basically, the most notable names on this list and where I think they'll go. Jakub Chychrun, defensive from Arizona. This one, I can understand why. He's top of the trade bait list. He's arguably one of the better defensemen in the league, but he just doesn't gel in Arizona. So what do I think they need to do? I think they need to move him. But where? Well, look at the market. What teams really desperately need a defenseman? Well, you could say teams like Boston, for example. Boston is in dire need of defenseman. After Zaboral left for the rest of the season after undergoing surgery, the Bruins haven't been doing well defensively. So, like, definitely Boston's one team that really needs defense. Another team that could argue that needs defense, I guess. I mean, if you want to say Detroit, you could, but they're good, I guess. But I feel like Boston would be the biggest buyer here for Jakub Chychrun. Marc-Andre Fleury, the goalie that was traded in the middle of the offseason for actually nothing. And the only way he found out was on Twitter. Now, where would he go? If, like, so we did with Chychrun, let's look at who needs a goalie. There are plenty of teams that need goalies out there. The Bruins are fine, so we can exclude them. I think teams that really desperately need a goalie, Minnesota is one of them. Why Minnesota? Well, look at it this way. The Wild are doing really good and are in a position to get themselves into the playoffs again. But, I mean, yeah, look at Talbot's hurt. Hammond was traded. Now you got fucking Kaapo Kähkönen. Don't get me wrong, Kaapo Kähkönen is a great goaltender. So is Cam Talbot, but in saying that, you need to go for someone very experienced, because that's going to help Kaapo Kähkönen a lot in the long run. Especially someone with Fleury's resume, he would be great in Minnesota. He could be a crucial thing for that playoff team. Another team I say would need a goalie desperately, Nashville. Look at Nashville. Like, go look at Saros hasn't been doing good. But the fact that the Predators are still doing decent despite his shitty goaltending is remarkable. Like, there's plenty of teams, but I think those are the two bigger buyers here. Claude Giroux, next on the list. Honestly, again, he's mentioned Colorado, St. Louis, and Nashville as his bigger teams. I think Colorado would be the one to go in on them. In all retrospect, they do need another top 6 forward. No, don't get me wrong. I like the guys they have now, like Landeskog, Kadri, Rantanen, McKinnon, like all those guys, right? They got plenty of depth up there on the top 6, but you can never have enough. Claude Giroux, especially him in his early 30s, that's a great get, and that's a great get to get now. Because if you don't, and say another team in your division like either Minnesota or St. Louis get him, you have a chance of being taken up in the standings. And last week Colorado wants is to be taken up in those standings. John Klingberg, another great defenseman. Boston would love to have him because again they need defensemen badly. Florida, I argue, could touch with the defense a little bit, but again, like in terms of the defensive market, Boston's going to be the biggest buyers here. I don't know the names. I'm just going to run down real quick. Giordano, Domi, Kessel, Petrie, DeBrusk, Hudobin, Ristolainen, Kravtsov, and that's really it. But anyway, that will do it for this episode of the Hockey Talk Show. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like. Comment down below if you guys want to see anything next. If you have not done so already, subscribe and join the Illogical Nation. Until next time, guys, je suis le Canadien. Bonne nuit et au revoir.